What is up, everybody? My name is Miguel, aka the Liberal Thrifter, and welcome to episode 2 of my new YouTube series where I talk about all my love for thrifting, eBay, reselling, and everything related to that. Thank you so much for coming back, or for those of you joining for the first time, thank you for checking me out. I really do appreciate it. Well, episode 1 is in the books, and it has been a commercial and critical success. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. It wasn't a success. It was barely anybody cared, but that's okay. I didn't expect them to. So I'm just gonna keep on doing my thing, keep on trucking, putting out these videos, and we'll see what happens. I did get some feedback about the production quality of my videos, and after thinking it over, I'm kind of looking into what it would take to make the videos more professional looking. It's just not worth it to me, honestly. It's not me. It would take too much time, honestly. So I hope that you'll forgive the poor video quality, but hopefully it's made up for by the quality of the content that I'm trying to put out there and the information that I'm putting out there, so that you guys can use it and apply it and use it to kind of get your own businesses going as well. As I mentioned last week, I am a part-time reseller, and so I normally only get to source about 1 to 4 hours on most weeks. A couple of weeks ago, I had a long weekend where I was able to actually go source for a longer time, so I took that opportunity and I drove out a little bit further than I normally do, and I got to go source over the course of a couple of days for a good 6 or 7 hours, which was really a lot of fun. Found a lot of great stuff. Went to a couple of independents. So I really like going to independents. It's actually really interesting. It's a lot less structured. You don't know what you're going to pay for whatever you find. So it's kind of more of a treasure hunt situation happening. At Goodwill, I know that here in my area, for example, t-shirts are $4. Short sleeve shirts are $6 and long sleeve shirts are $7. Shoes are around $10. So there's kind of a structure there. With independents, it's just a roll of the dice. It's whatever they feel like charging up for that particular item. I've seen nice dress shirts for like $3. I've seen plain t-shirts for like $8. There's no telling what the price is going to be, but that is part of the fun, and sometimes you can catch some really great gems there. So I want to show you guys a few of my best pickups. Not all of them, of course, because there's a lot of, basic bread and butter type of items. But I want to show you guys the items that I feel that you might get a little bit of use and knowledge out of. This first item is a University of West Virginia. I don't know if you can tell how big that is, but this is freaking huge. This is a 5XL on a Gildan tag. This is a long sleeve with a nice little Mountaineers spell out right here. Let's see, there you go, Mountaineers. And big clothing commands a premium, guys. So definitely when you see a plain t-shirt, keep an eye out. 5XL, 4XL, even if you find bigger sizes, but a lot of them. So what a lot of times will happen is that somebody will maybe go on a diet, and good for them, they went from a 3XL to a 2XL, so they donate all their 3XL clothing. There it goes to the thrift store. A lot of times they'll just put it in there. You can lot stuff up, especially if they have a lot of the same things. There's been times that I found pulled Ralph Lauren's XBs, and it's just like color after color after color. You get 5 of them together, lot them up, send them out on one package, and you can make a good amount of profit, and without that much work, because it's just one listing, one set of photographs, one measurement. So again, keep an eye out for these big items like this. Take good measurements of them too, because people want to know what the measurements actually across the chest are. Paid $5, should be able to get about 35. This next item is a road crew, a local road crew t-shirt for the band Fish. So I don't know if you've heard of them, but they're a very niche band, and that's actually something that makes me want to pick this up and sell it. These fans of this band are called fish heads. They are very, very devoted, and they will buy a lot of stuff that has the band name on it. They'll go crazy for it. Paid $8, so $8 for a t-shirt, kind of high, but I should be able to get somewhere in the $40 to $50 range. So when you find band stuff, don't be put off if it's not like a giant band. Sometimes the smallest bands have the most devoted followings, so keep that in mind. This next item is a pair of Shimano cycling shoes. So these are what cycling shoes look like. This, just so you kind of learn something, these are a bolt system shims. So some of them have 3 bolts. This is a 3 bolt. Some of them have 2. They usually are going to have a hard bottom, because when you're cycling and you hit something, you don't want it to be a soft rubber. You want it to be hard. So these were $5, and I should be able to get about 30-ish. A nice tip for these type of shoes is that these will actually usually fit really nicely into a padded flat rate envelope if you want to do it that way. That's how I used to do it before I got my shipping hookup, which again I will share with you guys. Just get me to $250. We'll definitely make a video about it. But yeah, this way you can ship them out. You know how much it's going to cost you to ship, and you can calculate that into your buy cost. So cycling shoes, definitely something to be on the lookout for. This next item is a Overwatch LA Valiant jersey. So there you go. See, Overwatch League. Esports kind of had a little bit of a popularity surge, a little bit going down, but nowadays people will watch Twitch streams for hours. I mean, that's their thing, and that's fine. That's great. Go for it. But yeah, these types of jerseys, if you don't recognize them, what they are, look them up. I mean, jerseys are usually going to be, if it's a legitimate jersey, of course, you're going to have somebody who's going to want to rep their stuff. Paid $4, and I think I can get close to $50 for this one. So don't sleep on jerseys just because they're not from a popular sport. That goes for other sports like rugby, like cricket. I mean, just because it's not your cup of tea doesn't mean that somebody out there won't want it. This next item is a Disney Parks. You guys know how much I love Disney Parks stuff. This is a Captain EO Michael Jackson t-shirt. Again, guys, stuff that hits 2 fandoms at the same time is going to find a home more times than not. This would be a really great shirt for somebody who really loves Disney, who like fondly remembers. This is like an obscure kind of short film that was made starring Michael Jackson and maybe George Lucas, I want to say. I don't remember exactly. I did some research on it. But short film, I think it was mostly shown at Epcot. It's going to hit people who like Disney, but it's also going to hit Michael Jackson fans, which there are still a lot of. Paid up for this one, I paid $6, but I think I can get about $40 for it. This next item is a lot of 2 CDs. I don't know if you can see them there. These are Blues Clues CD-ROMs, educational CDs. I found these at a local library sale, and I really do advise you guys to check out the sales at your local library. They can be an invaluable source for quality merchandise that's not fully picked over by other pickers. So CDs, books, magazines are big. So if you go to a library bookstore or library friends of the library sale, they will be people who just gave away a bunch of their stuff, a bunch of their old stuff, and a lot of them are going to be things like educational CDs, books, textbooks. I mean, some textbooks can be worth good money. And one of my favorite things to find at library sales is magazine lots, and that's where you find, you know, couple of years worth of some certain niche magazine. I've sold things like very, very hyper specific things, Warhammer, model railroads, quilting. I think one of my bigger sales of magazines was War Games Illustrated. There we go, that's what it was. And just like little, very, very niche things that have a devoted following, and people are gonna want the old stuff even if it's not like brand new. And the pricing is so super cheap. I mean, we're talking about 10 cents a magazine, a quarter a magazine, $1 books, $1 CDs. I mean, this is just too good. Again, these, I actually got them for $1 each. And I'm lotting them together because I think that there's more value. Somebody's going to want them because they're very close in age groups. It's age 3 to 6, if you see there. So yeah, definitely take a look at that. Don't sleep on library sales. Should be able to get somewhere in the $35, $30 range. This next item is a music t-shirt. It's for a Y2K band called Atticus. The label kind of is what caught my eye there. See that? Atticus, and then it's Mischief Music, which is a record label. This band, after doing some research, this is associated with maybe Blink-182, the Y2K skater kind of culture, and Y2K stuff really hot right now. I guess the youngins are enjoying stuff we were into in the 2000s. And yeah, it definitely don't sleep on stuff like that. It can definitely be worth a good amount of money. Paid $4, should be able to get somewhere in the $40 range. This next item is a Rag and Bone New York. This is like a little wraparound spell out print. It's a size small. It's a small t-shirt. There's the label if you see out there. This is a luxury brand, and so even though this is a plain t-shirt, then it still can go for good money just because it says Rag and Bone. It's just because it's that brand. I paid up a little bit for this one. I paid about $8 at an independent, and I should be able to get about $35 for it. This next item is a t-shirt for flip skateboards. Skateboarding stuff, always hot. There's always a new generation of kids getting into skateboards, and they want to wear stuff like this. But also for vintage purposes, things like Stussy, Independence, those are, you know, quality pieces that can get you a decent amount of money. Paid $2 for this t-shirt. Should be able to get about $30. This next piece is a Star Wars Disney Cruise sweater. It's from the day at sea in 2017. Again, a hyper specific thing, but somebody out there was on this cruise and wants the sweater to prove it, and they're gonna come on and find it and buy it from you. Paid about $5 for this one, and I think you should be able to get about $30. It's on a Disney Cruise Line tag, Disney Cruise Line tag, excuse me. But again, it's what I always say, it's mashing two things together. It's three things together, really. It's mashing a time and place, a Disney cruise, Star Wars, and Disney all together in one. Someone's really, really gonna think this is neat and really hits all their buttons, and I think I can get about $35 for it. This next item is a Dale Earnhardt Jr. Chase Authentics. There's the tag right there. Jersey / t-shirt. It's got a ton of graphics, you know, with all the advertisers, all their sponsors here. Chase Authentics, it's pretty interesting. There's a little bit of a glut on certain items, but a lot of the older stuff still has a good amount of value. A lot of vintage t-shirts, pit crew jerseys, stuff that, you know, NASCAR drivers will wear. Those are going to do pretty good. I only paid $2 for this, so I didn't, you know, pick it up on the cheap. and I should be able to get about 25-ish. This next item is a New England Patriots Tom Brady baseball jersey. Brady, of course, famously a football player, but sometimes they'll come up with these different type of jerseys. This is a let me see, Reebok NFL players. There's the tag right there, size XL, and this is really nice. It's got a lot of stitching. It's got a lot of embroidery stuff. As a rough estimate, I think this will probably be in the $75 range. I did pay up for this one. I did pay $20 at an independent, but you know, they knew that they had something special, but it was still enough, worth it enough for me to pick up. This next item is a Ferrari of Beverly Hills fleece quarter zip jacket. See there, this is, I'm pretty sure this is vintage, and this would have been sold at the actual Beverly Hills Ferrari dealership. So there's some nice little embroidered patch. It's a very soft, very nice fleece. These kind of cuffs there. Thing about these kinds of things is that they are, again, very specific, but you gotta imagine that some Ferrari owner in Beverly Hills is going to be happy to pay up for this. It's a good size. It's a size XL. Could also imagine this maybe being bought for somebody like a movie, maybe a prop, a dress set person, just to, you know, show a jerk guy wearing some Ferrari gear or whatever. But you know, I think that it's going to sell. It paid $10 for this one, and I think I should be able to get about 60. Specific car stuff, I would recommend looking up comps and not being afraid to take a chance. You know, if it's a car that has a loyal following, a lot of times you will find a buyer for it. You know, it could be Ferrari, it could be Maserati, it could be something simple like a Fiat or a Jeep. Clothing with that kind of thing still should be fairly desirable. This next item is a pair of Nike Zoom Fly running shoes. These are kind of interesting because they're actually kind of see-through clear plastic here, which gives it a very unique look. Shoes, I don't clean up too much. If it's something simple, then yes, I'll do it. But sneakers, I just put something like may need additional cleaning and just show good pictures of them and let people know what they're buying. This is model AJ9282-106. Paid $10, should be able to get somewhere in the $60 to $70 range. This next item is a Grateful Dead, kind of a Christmassy themed sweater. This is on a Gildan tag as well. Grateful Dead, of course, like Fish, like earlier, has a very big following where people just really love to rep their stuff. This is actually one of the first vintagey Grateful Dead pieces that I found. All the other stuff I found is modern reproductions. Paid up for it, paid about $10, but I think should be able to get about $35 to $40 for that particular piece. And the final item that I'm going to show you guys is one of the best finds that I've had in a while, to be honest. And this is a pair of wrestling shoes. These are Rulon Gardner Asics JY500s. I paid $12.50 for these. These were $25 half off. So they got all the way to the point where they were half off, which is crazy to me that nobody picked these up. I picked them up for $12.50. These already sold. So these are shipping out tomorrow, and they sold for $250, guys. Don't sleep on wrestling shoes, equipment, stuff that's shoes and things like that that are endorsed by big time celebrities, athletes. You're gonna find a lot of really high dollar things. I'm really happy that I picked these up. $250, so I mean that's easily 200 plus profit for me, which is really helpful right now. And now for the tip of the week, and that has to do with where you source, how you source. And I'm really going to suggest you guys to try out a lot of different sourcing methods, see what works for you, see what you like. I personally just basically do thrift stores because that's what I'm comfortable with. Money wise, if this was my full-time job, I would hit the bins, which are the Goodwill outlets, yard sales and garage sales, Ross and Marshall's clearance. That's a good one. Liquidation stores. Liquidation stores are a great source for discontinued items, which I'll go into a little bit more in just a few moments. But I just want to give you guys an idea. I've gone yard sailing and, I've tried it out, and honestly, I hate it. I hate going yard sailing. I hate having to be there at a specific time. I hate getting in my car and driving blocks, getting out of my car, going to go check it out, maybe running into a dud, having to go back into my car, drive to the next one, having to plan out a route. It's having to make small talk with people. It's not my thing. Not being able to look things up in front of them for fear of a social faux pas. All of those things just make yard sailing really, really unenjoyable for me. Now, if it was my job, I would be there every weekend because you can make a lot of money off yard sales. People underprice a lot at yard sales. You can negotiate, you can make deals, you can bundle things up. I mean, there are a lot of pluses to it, but it just depends on what you're wanting to get out of your experience, how you want to handle things. I am happy just going to a thrift store and being able to go whenever I get a chance to, looking things up. It's fun for me. It's fun. And this is a hobby. I'm not making the majority of my money off of this, so I can afford to do that. If you're looking to make a living off of this, you're going to have to make some sacrifices. Things are not going to be as fun sometimes. You're going to have to walk through a giant flea market in the hot sun with a bunch of other people to find good quality items. And you can. I know some people who make bank off of flea markets, swap meets, what they call them here in California. Community yard sales. Those are actually decent. I like community ones where a lot of people. I like church rummage sales. Those are good. It's just a matter of convenience as far as schedule for me that just doesn't work out. I'm a night person. I don't want to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning to go early and get all the good stuff. I'll leave that to you guys. So try out different things. Ross and Marshall's is a great one. I mean, there's tons of YouTube videos, people who go out there and just really make bank off of Ross. And one of the good things about those is that you've got a return policy. It's new items, and you can just catch them slipping. You can catch, a $30 pair of sneakers that's $100 pair of sneakers. So, it's a good enough margin. And you know where they are, and you can look things up without anybody telling you anything. It's all above board. Discount stores are a good one as well. As I mentioned, it's the kind of places, kind of like a Dollar Tree, where they buy liquidation and then they just have a bunch of something. But I'm talking more about independence of those. You can find a lot of great discontinued stuff. I'm talking makeup, sunscreen, a discontinued flavor of a snack, like the Skittles all lime or something like that. Yeah, you can find those. Just discontinued stuff is a really great niche to learn, and I'm really going to recommend it. And for that, I'm going to recommend my content creator of the week, who is going to be Jen here at Thrift to Travel. She's just so great. She shares so much knowledge. She has these lists, $10. I'm not getting sponsored. I paid $10 for these lists myself, and it's just so much information, hardware stores, grocery stores. Find the discontinued items, find out what the people were clamoring for, buy it. When you hit it, you're gonna hit a bunch of them. Lot them up if you want to. It's just a great business model. So check her out. Instagram will be in the description below. Now I'm gonna go into some of my recent solds. So these are 10 items that I've sold recently. This first item is this Rochester Institute of Technology embroidered sweater, size XL. It's a hoodie, and like I mentioned to you guys before, mid-range schools, I love them. I love picking up their stuff. Paid $7 for this one and sold for $40. This next item is a vintage 2002 Trader Joe's Hawaiian shirt, size XL. Trader Joe's has a little bit of a following as far as their Hawaiians there. I love picking up Hawaiians that are interesting because, again, put yourself in the mindset, somebody was going to want this, maybe somebody who works at Trader Joe's, worked there before, someone who likes it for whatever reason. Paid $6 and sold for $28. This next item is a Luchesse Gavin goat leather cowboy boots, size 12D. These, I was so excited to find them, and they unfortunately had a bit of a cut, about a 1-inch cut in the leather in one of the boots, but they still sold even with that, it disclosing that. $12, sold for $110 shipped. So high-end boots, definitely keep an eye out for those. Those are, look at the inside, it's going to have the brand, it's going to have a model number. Just do some research on them. If they look like good quality boots, they're not too messed up, definitely look them up. This next item is a Harley Davidson 2XL gray and black embroidered button-down shirt. This one is called a mechanic style, so that's a good keyword to use, kind of like a kind of mechanic would wear. Harley Davidson, I do enjoy a lot. Embroidered Harley Davidson t-shirts, jackets, vests, all of that is good. It's going to be good, worth good money. Paid $6 and sold for $40. Next item is also a pair of shoes. This is a Ferrari, black mock toe. If you see there, that kind of stitched toe situation, that's a mock toe. Driving loafers, black size 10, paid $10 and sold for $60. This next item is an Eton dress shirt. This is a slim fit, size 42. It's kind of blue with the red flowers. I love finding Eton, honestly. I think it's a good brand. As long as you don't pay up too much for it, it will sell. You just kind of have to price it right. Paid $6 for this one and sold for $25. Not a huge margin, but this came in a vein of Eton shirts, so I just found like 4 or 5 Eton. Someone donated all their collection, and I decided to pick them up because why not, right? This next one's a new with tags, Polo Ralph Lauren interlock custom slim fit polo shirt. This is a medium. I love finding new with tag stuff. Polo Ralph Lauren, obviously there's a little bit of a glut, but if you can find a new one and a brand new one with tags, I definitely recommend looking it up and picking it up. Most of the time it's going to be worth it. I paid $6 and sold for $40. This next item is another Hawaiian shirt. It's a vintage Hukalau Fashions, blue, very, very pretty with very, very bright colors. It's vintage, I think from the 70s. The tag was really, really faded. I had to really look hard on it and take some good measurements. But yeah, vintage Hawaiians can still do good. Obviously not the common stuff, not the everyday brand, but some good vintage stuff will still sell. Paid $3 and sold for $35. This next one's one of my bread and butter items. It's an Untuckit, small, slim fit, blue and green check shirt. paid $4 and sold for 27, just to show you guys one of the bread and butter. They're not all super high items, but you know, it's a good enough margin. Untuck it sells pretty fast as long as you price it right. And this last one I'm really happy about. It's a CD from the soundtrack to the movie The Golden Child with Eddie Murphy. Paid $2 and sold for 50. I really recommend you guys kind of don't sleep on CDs. The CD section, you can find sometimes some games, some educational stuff like I showed you there or a little bit earlier. But yeah, anything that looks interesting and not super mass produced, I would recommend looking it up, scanning the barcode. Just use the barcode scanner on the eBay app or the Amazon seller app, and you will get an answer pretty quick whether to keep researching it or move on to the next thing. So don't sleep on CDs, guys. They're still out there. They're still a good thing to look over. And that about does it, guys. I really appreciate you guys coming along for the ride again. I hope you learned something. I hope I was able to be informative and show you a little something that you can then go and out into the field and use it and find some stuff and make some sales. So again, I'm really grateful for all of the views that my first video got. I'm grateful for the subscribers that I got, but I only got about 8. So if you can hit subscribe, I really appreciate it. Again, if we goal is 1,000 so we can get monetized, so we can start some donations happening. But right now the first goal is 250. Once 250 comes, I will share with you all my super duper secret shipping hookup that will save you hundreds of dollars when it comes to shipping your items, especially if you ship big priority items. I'm really looking forward to putting that out there and really helping a lot of people. So help me get to that 250, guys. I really appreciate it. And yeah, that's it for this week. And hopefully I'll be back in a couple of weeks, not too long, and share a little bit more. Thanks for watching. Bye.